3 decades. He's been dedicated to Krishna, and he's a good communicator. Very logically, he tries to communicate the message, and it's very soothing to hear Prabhuji talking. He's preaching to students, professionals as well as growers in many places. And I don't know, Prabhuji, how because of this COVID situation. But whatever it is our good fortune today. After a long time, we are able to, we are getting a chance once again to hear from Prabhuji. I don't know the subject. Usually Prabhuji will choose something that is very interesting and what is very, well timed. So let us wait anxiously what Prabhuji has to speak. Prabhuji, welcome again to the call, and we're glad that you are here in short notice. So please welcome and take it from here, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Recording in progress.
Hare Krishna. So, thank you very much for letting me have another opportunity to serve all of you. And I'm really sorry for joining the meeting late. Just some technical issues on my side. So, recently, somebody was asking me on my mail. Somebody has just asked a question that, is there any particular mantra or some process by which everything in the future would be all right? In Hindi, this was in Hindi. Somebody had sent me a note in Hindi saying that भविष्य हमारा हमेशा सुंदर रहे, इसके लिए क्या आप कुछ उपाय दे सकते हैं क्या? My first instinct was to immediately reply, just chant the holy names of the Lord, specifically Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That was my first instinct. Over the years, I've also found that a lot of people, they have either heard or they kind of know that chanting the holy names of the Lord is the most beneficial process. Sometimes people accept this process as the infallible process. Sometimes they accept this process as that which would work where everything else fails. And some people accept this process every moment of their life. So, my response in terms of that please chant the holy names of the Lord and things would be good for you, would be the perfect response, or it would be a good response, a nice response. However, is that what we need? You know, just like if it is raining and someone doesn't want to get wet, and they ask us, how do we avoid getting wet? The immediate response would be use an umbrella or a raincoat. Is that what people really are expecting? Maybe they have a raincoat, maybe they have an umbrella. So, what is it that they need to help them? That made me think. The same example, maybe I could, if I knew, if there was a way that I could share my own experience, or give them a little more knowledge about how to use the umbrella a little differently from what they have been doing, or how to use the raincoat a little differently from what they have been doing previously. That could be helpful. Otherwise, if I just give the response that you could use the umbrella, or you could use the raincoat, would make the inquirer feel that I was not, I was either making a fool of them or laughing at them, or not really serious about giving them, offering them some help. So in today's times, when a rational human being is asking me a question as to how could their future be bright every moment, I would have to think, what is it? What could I say? What could I share with them that would make them understand how chanting works, or how does the holy name of the Lord offer us benefits? So, as I was meditating on this inquiry, I realized that personally for me also, over so many years of chanting Hare Krishna, what made me see my own faith with much more clarity, what made me see my commitment towards taking shelter of the holy names of the Supreme Lord in a much more clearer way, or a much more relevant way, was when I understood the potency of the holy names. I understood the magnificence of the holy names, and I understood how merciful the holy names are. And when I speak of these attributes of the holy names, this comes from an understanding that the holy names are not different from the person. The name of the Lord is not different from the Lord. So where do we get to hear about the glories of the holy names, or the different uh, qualities of the holy names? Or how do we hear about the different glories or qualities of the holy names? Since the name and the person who has that name are non-different, Nam and Nami are non-different. Abhinatvam Nama Nami, no? There is no difference between the holy names and the Lord Himself. What it would mean is that if I would become more well versed with the qualities or the glories or activities of the Lord, that would also increase my commitment, or it would also help me see better my commitment towards the holy names, or my um, dependence on the holy names, or my desire to seek shelter of the holy names. Hence, the activities and the pastimes of Krishna are supremely glorious. And there is a direct correlation between hearing the wonderful pastimes of Krishna over and over again and the chanting of the holy names by a practitioner. There's a direct correlation between the two, between hearing and chanting. So if we can take out some time on a regular basis to read the scriptures and to meditate on the scriptures where the beautiful qualities and activities of the Supreme Lord are described, and we are also participate in gatherings, we attend gatherings where such pastimes of the Lord are being glorified or they are being narrated. That nourishes one's connection to the Supreme Lord, that nourishes one's devotional creeper, it nourishes one's desire and one's faith. Just as the holy names are the remedy to all the maladies in this material world, similarly, if we consider our existence in this material world, in this material realm, as a diseased condition, the glorious and wonderful pastimes of the Lord are the remedy, or they are medicine for this disease, for this malady, for this infectious state that we are in. So this state of existence in this material world, which is called as material existence or the embodied life, is known as bhavarog. Bhava means existence, specifically material existence, and roga means disease. So the disease of material existence is called as bhavarog. And the medicine that cures us of this disease is called as bhavaushadhi. Bhavaushadhi. Aushad is medicine, and bhava is material existence. So since the material existence itself is a rog, the aushad, bhavaushad for material existence is the narrations of the activities of the Supreme Lord, or the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, or Bhagavad Leela, or Bhagavad Katha. This is the remedy. This is the medicine. So the holy name is a remedy for the diseased condition, and the medicine, which is non-different from the holy names, is also Krishna Katha or Hari Katha, Bhagavad Katha. And not only is it a Bhavaushad, it is also Manobhiram. It also gives pleasure to the disturbed mind. It gives peace to the mind that is constantly burning with so many material desires. So it is also called as Manobhiram. Manobhirama means the mind can completely be engrossed, totally be engrossed, totally be meditative. On what? On these wonderful activities of the Lord, which is called as Leela or pastimes. So if someone has a disease which is very dangerous, and if they also have access to the medicine that helps them overcome this danger and become free of it forever, be free of the danger of this disease, then that person is very fortunate. However, if one has the medicine to this disease, which is dangerous, and one does not take that medicine, then such a person is not just less intelligent, or is not just not using one's intelligence, is not just being stupid, but such a person is unfortunate in the sense that such a person is willingly consuming a kind of poison that will harm one, and is not taking the remedy for it. So in this kind of existence, or this kind of behavior where one wants to harm oneself, self-harm, is sometimes called as a suicidal tendency. And it's not very healthy, it's not very helpful. Therefore, one should give up such tendencies of self-harm, and one should become intelligent, and one should try to accept one's fortune and become fortunate by accepting this medicine, by drinking this medicine. So the holy names, chanting of the holy names is the remedy. And then we also hear that Krishna Katha is the remedy. So is there a difference between the two? Actually, it is not different. Just as Krishna and his names, holy names, are non-different, similarly, the holy names as being the medicine to material existence, and Krishna Katha being a medicine for getting cured from material disease, are not, they do not contradict each other. And in the beginning of today's presentation, I said that I was meditating on what can give us better clarity about one's commitment towards taking shelter of the holy names is Krishna Katha. Why? Because when we hear about the glories of Krishna and we hear about how the Supreme Lord is so benevolent towards his devotees, or we hear how the Supreme Lord performs so many wonderful pastimes with his devotees in the material world and also in the spiritual world, then our attraction towards Krishna and along with that, or along with attraction to Krishna, the attraction to Krishna's holy names also increases. Because when we say Krishna, attraction to Krishna, the word Krishna reflects Krishna as a person, and the word Krishna also is his name. So it's the same person. And therefore, Krishna's name and Krishna are not different. Who says that? On what basis do I make this suggestion? The potency of the holy names has already been, or the potency of the holy name is self-established. I'm just taking it for granted, or I'm accepting this fact that all of you know about the potency of the holy names. So today, I would like to give pramana for how the pastimes of Krishna are medicine for conditioned souls. They are they give a lot of satisfaction and pleasure to the disturbed mind, or to the mind which is generally very much agitated. And thirdly, these activities of Krishna are they are a great fortune for those who have received the chance to hear of them, and anyone who willingly negates hearing the glorious pastimes of Krishna is causing self-harm. So this was spoken by Shukadev Maharaj, the narrator of Srimad Bhagavatam, to his audience, specifically to Parikshit Maharaj, who was making inquiries of Shukadev Goswami. Shukadev Goswami says in the 10th canto, Nivrittatarshe upagiyamana bhavaushada shrotra bhiramat kauttama shloka gunanuvadat paman virajyeta vina pashugnat. So there are three words here: bhavaushadhi, manobhirama, and pashugna. Gna means harm or hurt. Pashugna means self-harm. Sometimes in the scriptures, the word pashu is spoken while addressing living entities. Just as pashu also refers to animals. Animals in Sanskrit are called as pashu. Similarly, living entities are also called as pashu. The idea being both are, they can be bound by some higher forces. Just as animals can be captured and bound by humans, similarly, a living entity in this material world is bound by the three modes of material nature. So Pashugna, Pashu. So Pashugna means one who causes self-harm. So who's a Pashugna? Vina. One who does not accept the process of hearing Krishna's glorious pastimes, who does not listen to the wonderful pastimes of Krishna. So that is one, I'm just giving pramana. So that is done. Now, the two words, Manobhiram and Bhavaushadhi. So, Nivrit Tarsher Upagiyamanad Bhavaushadash. So, Tarsha means Trishna, which means desires. Nivritta Tarsher. So, one is released from such unwanted, unnecessary desires by the Bhavaushadhi, by the medicine. So the disease is this Trishna, this being burned by so many material desires, being in this burning inferno of materialism. That is the Trishna. So that is a disease. And there is a Aushadhi, an Aushad or Aushadhi for this, which is called Bhavaushadhi. What is that? The Uttama Shloka Gunan. Uttama Shloka Guna Anuvadat. Hearing the narrations, Anuvadat, again and again and again. One person hears, and that person goes and speaks, and another hears. Or one hears and then goes and hears it again from some other source, or hears it again after some time. So Guna Anuvadat. Uttama Shloka. Uttama Shloka Guna means if there can be somebody who can be glorified again and again and again for the same activity, that person is called as Uttama Shloka. Shloka means praise. Shloka means words. Shloka means glorification. Uttama means greatest. So if there are words of glorification that could be used for someone, then that person has to be Uttama or great. But Uttama Shloka, beyond the literal meaning, is the meaning that this person can be glorified again and again and again for the same activity. And the orator or the narrator and the hearer or the audience would never get tired of hearing it again. It would never become stale. It would never be boring. That is what Uttama Shloka means. So Uttama Shloka Guna Anuvada, those narrations that describe the glorious activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are Bhavaushadhi or medicine for conditioned souls who are suffering from the disease of this constant disease of material desires that constantly burn them, that make them so very unhappy again and again and again. So that is Bhavaushadhi. However, Manobhiramat. So it gives pleasure to the mind. The mind is always disturbed. But here, Manobhiramat is spoken for those people whose disturbed mind has already been pacified by austerities. So, not only is this medicine helpful in the diseased condition, but once we have overcome the diseased condition and we are in the healthy condition, even in the healthy condition, this works. And now it is not a medicine, but it is nectar. So Manobhiram means it is nectar now. Nectar is that which never ever allows one, which never ever makes one diseased. One can never be diseased if one has nectar. Because that is what is the meaning of nectar or elixir. One is free from disease. One can never become diseased. So the The glorious activities of Krishna, or the pastimes of Krishna, medicines for the it is a medicine for the conditioned soul. The glorious or let me repeat this again. The glorious activities of Krishna that are narrated in the form of pastimes are firstly medicine for conditioned souls. Secondly, they are nectar for liberated souls. And having known this benefit of the of hearing the pastimes of Krishna, if one does not, or if one willingly avoids hearing, or one willingly negates, gives up hearing the glorious activities of Krishna, then one is committing self-harm. So one has to be careful. So now we know that how by hearing the beautiful pastimes of Krishna, which can never, which are always very interesting and never get boring, one can see one's commitment towards taking shelter of the holy names grow more and more and more. Hence, along with chanting of the holy names of Krishna, one should also read the activities of the Supreme Lord from the scriptures, or hear them from narrators, from speakers who describe these pastimes as they are, as it is. Hear it from such great souls who describe it as it is. So about 5,000 years ago, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he appeared on this planet, in this material world, and revealed some beautiful pastimes, activities that have been passed down through generations in the form of the Puranas. And specifically the Bhagavad Puran, or the Srimad Bhagavatam, has a very has expounded greatly, has a great collection of these pastimes of the Supreme Lord when he appeared on the planet, grew up in Vrindavan, performed his duties as a royal prince in Mathura and Dwarka, and traveled to various other places to establish religious principles, and also to give his merciful association to his devotees. So this great volume of work, which wherein these activities of the Supreme Lord Krishna are described, is to a large extent, to a very large volume found in the Srimad Bhagavatam. There are other scriptures also, like the Brahmanda Puran and the Skanda Puran, that describe the activities, the Hari Vangsha that describe the activities of the Supreme Lord Krishna, and the Mahabharata too. Other literatures or other shastras which we accept are also the Sthala Puranas. The Sthala Puranas are very specific. They only relate to a particular place. When the Sthala Puranas, what they do is describe the activities of Supreme Lord in that place. For example, there are so many Puranas, there are so many narrations about the Supreme Lord in Vrindavan that Shukdev Goswami may not have described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And these Thala Puranas are also very, very important, and they are accepted by the devotees of the Lord. There are other histories or itihasas too that have been noted down by devotees who had been contemporaries at the time when the Supreme Lord was there. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates, they wrote down about the activities of Lord Chaitanya. They are called as charitras, at least in terms of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's activities. Charitra means activities or the personality of the Lord. So these scriptures are also accepted. One of them is Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then there is Chaitanya Bhagavat, which is called as Chaitanya Mangal previously. Then there is another Chaitanya Mangal. There's another book called as Chaitanya Charita. So there are so many books like that too. Today, we are going to describe the glories, let us say the Mahatma or the glories of a particular place called as Chhatravan in Vrindavan. So one means forests. So there are 12 principal forests in Vrindavan, in Mathura Mandal, of which Vrindavan is one. There is Bhandirvan, there is Khadirvan, there is Bhadravan, there is Talavan. There are so many forests like that, 12 major forests. And the prominent amongst them is Vrindavan, because there is Giriraj Govardhan in Vrindavan, and also the Lord's a lot of pastimes of the Lord after his Balalila, after he was about when they moved from Gokul Mahavan, they came to Vrindavan, towards Vrindavan. So these are Nanda, when they come to Nandagram and Barsana. So these are parts of Vrindavan, the Vrindavan forest. So Vrindavan is a very prominent forest of the 12. And then within these forests, there are smaller forests. So there is a big territory. It's like Vrindavan is like a forest which is equivalent to a district. And within Vrindavan forest, there would be smaller towns, which would all be in the district. So smaller forests. So one such forest is called as Chhatravan. And the reason that forest is called as Chhatravan is because Krishna would always be praised by his friends, cowherd boys, that, oh, when you grow up, you are going to be the king of all the cowherd community because your father Nanda Baba is the king. And we are going to be your ministers. So the gopas, the cowherd boyfriends, would constantly, they would speak like that. So this particular day, when they had come to this forest to play along with their cows, and the cows were grazing, they said, Krishna, we will crown you prince. So they made a nice throne with whatever forest material there was there. And Vrindavan forest provides a lot of precious minerals and precious stones too. Chintamani Dham. That is what Vrindavan is. So they made a nice singhasan, a throne, a royal throne. And then they performed the Rajya Abhishek. So Madhumangal was the Brahmin priest, and Sridama and Subal and other cowherd boyfriends, they became the helpers of the priest. So Madhumangal chanted mantras, and they offered akshata and other auspicious items, whatever they felt was the procedure, they performed that. And they installed Krishna as the king of the entire forest of Vrindavan in this place. So now, since he has become the king of that kshetra, of that territory. So the title that is given to a king is Kshetrapati or Chhatrapati. Kshatrapati means the ruler of a particular territory. Kshetra in Sanskrit means territory. So hail the king of Vrindavan, and they installed him as the king. And then Sri Balaramji sat on his right side. He was the minister, chief minister. Sri Dama became his personal servant, and he held the umbrella over his head. And Subal and Arjun and so many others, the Sakhas, they became the king's subjects, the Praja. And so they started complaining to the king that, you see these cowherd girls, these gopis, these gopis, they do business, they sell their dairy, and they travel through our territory. And when we ask them to pay taxes, they don't pay taxes. And therefore, we are at a loss. So Krishna, as the king, he made a proclamation. He said that, tell everyone who uses our territory that I am the king and I order them to pay their taxes. And they have to listen to my orders. And if anyone does not follow my order, then they will be punished. So very soon the news spread. One person told this to another person, and then it went to one of the girls, and the girls, they spread it amongst themselves. And then all the gopikas, the younger gopis, the sakhis, the cowherd girls, they brought this information to their senior, Lalita and Vishakha. And Lalita Devi, she said that, how dare Krishna do that? How can he be king? He is just an ordinary person, because there is only one ruler in Vrindavan, and that is our Shriji. That is our Srimati Radharani. So this is this person is revolting against our ruler, and anyone who revolts against our ruler, we are going to take strict action against that person. So then they brought the news that, oh, but they performed the Rajyabhishek. Did they do that? So then all the cowherd girls, they come. So since Krishna's Rajyabhishek was done there, according to the friend's procedure, therefore that, and he was given the title Chhatrapati. So that one is called as Kshatravan. That is why it is called Kshatravan. So when the cowherd girls heard that, oh, he has accepted the title of Kshatrapati, they are like, how dare anyone do that and challenge to our, and give a challenge to our worshipable supreme goddess. So Lalita Devi, she comes up to Srimati Radharani, and she practically, she requests her, but her request is like an order. She comes to Srimati Radharani and she says that, today we are going to perform your Rajyabhishek. You are going to be declared as a queen of Vrindavan. She tells all the cowherd girls had already come prepared. So they make a nice singhasan, a Ratna singhasan, a royal throne. Radharani is seated on it. They give her a royal dress to wear, and she's given a crown, and she is given the king's scepter, the Rajdand to hold in her hand. And then they perform all the mantras, the upacharas, and then they sing glories of Srimati Radharani. Vishakha Lalita Sakhi sits on her right side. She is the chief minister. Vishakha Devi holds up her umbrella, and all the other Sakhis and all the other gopis, they become her subjects. And they say that what is the use of this title Kshatrapati? We are not going to use this title at all. We are going to call our queen, who is the only ruler of Vrindavan, as Umra. So, Umra in Sanskrit means a noble person, a ruler. Just as in our Maharashtra, where I come from, any person who's very respectable and is in administration, they're addressed as Rao. So just as we had our ex-chief minister and one-time Union Minister of India, ex-chief minister of Maharashtra, and member of parliament from Maharashtra, Sharad Pawar. So whenever he is addressed, he is addressed as Mananiya Sharad Rao Pawar or Sharad Chandra Rao Pawar or Sharad Chandra Pawar, like that. So this has come from the times of when there would be the Peshwas who would rule in on behalf of the Chhatrapatis. They would always be called as Baji Rao, Sadashiv Rao, Rao. So Rao. It is a short form of Umra. Umra means, in Sanskrit, it means ruler. So Umra, like that. So they said that you are our Umra. So the place where she was coronated as the Queen of Vrindavan on this day is called as, it is the village of Umra. Even today, we have the village of Umra. And then seeking the queen's permission, Lalita Sakhi ordered her soldiers, the other cowherd girls, now go and capture all of these boys who have revolted against our queen. So thousands upon thousands of gopis, they carried sticks made up of flowers, and with those sticks they ran towards the place where Krishna and the cowherd boys were there. And when the cowherd boys saw so many cowherd girls coming, so they just disappeared because there were too many of them, too many of the gopis coming towards them. Madhu Mangal was a little slow, so he was captured and his hand was tied with a flower rope, and he was brought to Srimati Radharani, and Lalita Sakhi on behalf of the queen spoke. So, your friend Krishna has declared himself to be the ruler of Vrindavan when we already have a ruler here. And Madhu Mangal says that actually the only problem that I have right now is that I am very hungry. And please give me something to eat because my stomach is rumbling. And Radharani, she smiles slightly and she tells Lalita Sakhi, let this person go. You know, he is anyways just complaining about being hungry, so let him go. So they let him, they set him free, but his hands are still tied up. So he runs back to Krishna and Krishna asks him what happened, and she says, oh my God, I saw Shriji there and she looks so elegant and she looks so royal and regal. And the entire place is so charming and she is so charming that even Cupid, thousands of Cupids, they would be defeated just by one brief flicker of her eyebrow. And Krishna said, oh, so is that how the queen looks? And he says that, yes, you must come. And, you know, there they tied me up and they did not even give me anything to eat. And, you know, so I feel so very sad. And Krishna says, actually, because they tied you up and you are my minister, it is an insult to me. But then, because you're feeling so hungry, therefore, I think I'll just go and talk to them and not really, challenge them. So Krishna took this as an opportunity that I can tolerate my insult at one time, but I cannot tolerate that they did not give you food to eat, and this is not very nice. So let us go wherever she is. So Lord Krishna goes with Madhu Mangal alone, And when Srimati Radharani sees him coming alone, she becomes a little shy, and then Madhumangal comes and says, "Oh, my dear king, this is my friend, and he made this mistake, and now he has come to offer you a nice gift, the gift of his association. So please, dear queen, queen of all of us, we are all your subjects. Please accept this gift that he has come to offer you, and please be very careful about this gift that he has come to offer you, his association." And then he brings Krishna forward, and Lalita Sakhi and the others, they give Krishna a seat on the right side of Srimati Radharani, and Radha and Krishna are worshipped by all the devotees there on the wonderful throne that they had prepared for Srimati Radharani. And then Madhumangal gets a lot of sweets to eat, and is very happy. So this pastime is narrated by the residents of Umrao village and also the devotees of Vrindavan, which describes the Mahatma or the greatness of this place, Chhatravan. About 500 years ago, a great devotee and follower of Lord Chaitanya was passing through this village, Umrao village. And while they were performing the Abhishek of Srimati Radharani and her coronation, they were bringing water for all the auspicious activities from a kund, which is even today called as Kishori Kund. So he was sitting on the banks of Kishori Kund, which was a little outside the village amongst the fields, and it was a quiet place, and he was meditating and chanting Hare Krishna. And a young cowherd boy came up to him and said, "Baba, I have this thing for you, and I was asked to give it to you." The boy is like a cowherd boy, he was very simple and very charming and attractive. So the saintly person was so charmed that he couldn't speak, and the boy handed him a wrapped cloth with something in it, and then turned around and ran away and disappeared. And after the boy disappeared, then the saint realized that there was something heavy in his hand. So he unwrapped the cloth, and there he found a very, very beautiful deity of Krishna, Shyam Sundar. And when he saw the deity, he was amazed, elated, so happy, and also concerned. He was a Vairagi. In fact, he was Parivrajak. Parivrajak means he would never stay in one place, keep traveling. So his concern was that how will I take care of this deity? No, his concern was not how, but I have to take care of this deity, and I don't have anything with me to properly worship Krishna who has come to me. So as he was thinking about what should he do to properly serve the deity, the deity in his hand, and the deity was just big enough to fit in his palms. So the deity's length was just the length of his two palms together. That is it. Maybe 6 inches, we could say. So the deity spoke and he said, "Why are you looking so concerned? Don't you know who I am? And because you have constantly been wanting to have my association, so I have come to you. I personally came and delivered myself in this deity form to you." So the boy that had come was actually Krishna also, the cowherd boy. "And right now I'm very hungry, so can you give me something to eat?" And when he heard the deity say that, immediately he realized that this is what he should be doing. So he went to the villagers and he begged some wheat flour, and he got some fire, some twigs together, and he lighted a fire and he cooked some nice chapatis, some nice roti. In Braj, you can cook rotis without chakla belan, without really rolling it out, just with your hands. It's a lost art nowadays. You just have to knead the dough, and then you have to just flatten it. Take a small roll and flatten it between your palms. That is what you do. So he made rotis like that, and he served it. It had a little salt in it, and he served it to the deity. The deity was very happy, and he said that now please put me to rest. So he prepared a nice flower bed for the deity, and he put the deity to rest, and he became very much attached to his deity. And when the villagers came to hear that, oh, Baba has a deity now, and they all respected him a lot. So they all came to offer help. They said, now that you have a deity, why don't you just stay to here only? That was the villagers are interested in making him stay in Umrao village, but he said no. I am a traveling sadhu, so I have to travel. However, um, he um, uh, he begged for some cloth, a small piece of cloth, and he made a little mm, a hammock out of it, a jhula, a hammock out of it that would just hang around his neck. So he tied up the cloth around his neck, and it hung up to his chest, and he would put the deity inside that cloth, and he would travel all over Vrindavan, and whenever it would be time to eat for the deity, to offer food to the deity, he would bake some food, prepare a nice bhoga for the deity, offer it to the deity, put the deity to rest for some time, and then again move on. And in this way, he would perform his bhajan. And this saint who did that, because the deity was so very attractive, the deity's name that was given was Vinodji or Vinodi Lal, because the deity was small, and they would call the deity Lal, just as Krishna is called as Nanda Lal or Nanda Dulal. So Vinodi Lal. And later on, the deity became famous as Shri Radha Vinod. Today, the deity is in Sri Jaipur Dham. At one point of time, the deity was in Vrindavan. After Loknath Goswami attained Samadhi about 500 years ago, and the Tithi is today. Today is the Samadhi Tithi of Loknath Goswami. It is Shravan Krishna Ashtami, the 8th day of the waning moon of the month of Shravan, July, August, the month of Shravan. According to Gaudiya Panchang, it is the month of Sridhar. So this Shravan Krishnashtami is the disappearance day of Loknath Goswami. After his disappearance, the deity was served by devotees in what is today called as the Radha Gokulananda Ghera or the Radha Gokulananda temple. So this deity appeared to Sri Loknath Goswami, who was a very dear devotee of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. In the deity came to him in the village of Umra. So today, on disappearance day of Loknath Goswami, we can pray unto him that he can bless us, so that we can again and again and again meditate on the beautiful pastime of the Lord as Sri Radha Vinod, Sri Radha Vinod, and also on the beautiful activities of the Lord, which are medicinal for and the cure the disease of materialism in the hearts of conditioned souls. And we can once again establish our connection and revive our commitment towards chanting the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions or comments? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji, this is Manisha.
Hare Krishna.
So Prabhuji, so thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhuji. I do have one question, Prabhuji. Is like, if, as you said, like suicide is not good, but if somebody have intelligence, like if we take Krishna's name and leave our body, and it is very auspicious, but next birth will be very auspicious. So if I have that intelligence, so I do my suicide, but before doing suicide, I take Krishna's name and do suicide. So Prabhuji, so how it works?
Why would I chant Krishna's name and then do something like that? If I chant Krishna's name, I would never do such self-harm. So it is the very idea that that is what I do is actually, it is a Brahma, it is an illusion. It is like if I drink nectar and then take in poison, so nothing will. Why would I want to drink poison unnecessarily? I wouldn't want to do that. Such kind of experimentation is not. It's not good. So the question itself is, I think there's fault in it. And when I said that if someone does not hear, then that person is causing self-harm. And anyone who wants to not take medicine for a dangerous disease that could kill one, then that kind of tendency is called a suicidal tendency. I did not say anything beyond that. So rest of the things that you are saying are not my words.
Yeah, Prabhuji, it's not your words. It is just like I'm thinking. It's like if we are not purified yet, and we are under process. But in between, like if you are very distressed and very stressed, and but yeah, we have that intelligence. Like Krishna's holy name is everything, and if we take Krishna's name, then we can leave our body, and then we can go to the Krishna's dham. So in that situation, so Prabhuji, if somebody does that, they go to Krishna house.
No, it's if somebody is being frustrated, and therefore one thinks that I would give up the very means by which I can be Krishna conscious, then one would not be Krishna conscious, no? The very means of being Krishna conscious is using this body to become Krishna conscious. So till the time we become 100% Krishna conscious, we are going to have a material body. There are only two types of existence. One is spiritual existence, one is material existence. So what is material existence? Material existence is where we are not completely 100% Krishna conscious. That is material existence. So material existence can be anywhere between 0% Krishna conscious to 99.99% Krishna conscious. That is material existence. And what is spiritual existence? Spiritual existence is 100% Krishna conscious. There is no 99% Krishna conscious in the spiritual world. It is 100% Krishna conscious. So anyone who's not 100% Krishna conscious would still have material existence. So how does one become 100% Krishna conscious or try to become 100% Krishna conscious in the material world? By practicing Krishna consciousness using this material body. So the idea of giving up this material body by chanting Hare Krishna and thinking that will become 100 Krishna conscious is actually a very faulty idea. The idea should be that I should use this body to become 100% Krishna conscious. That is the correct understanding. So does it make sense? Do we understand now?
Yeah. Yeah, Prabhuji, got it. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Prabhuji, some devotees are highly attached. If they miss Krishna or they are in separation, they also try. Again, I am hearing whatever in Shastra, what we read. Because of absence of Krishna or devotees, they also try to leave body. They not want to commit suicide. So how do you understand that?
When they want to leave their body, they do it by performing austerities. That is called as samadhi. Samadhi is not frustration. Samadhi is wanting to be one with Krishna because one is feeling too much separation from Krishna. So after hours or days of doing such austerity where they're constantly crying for Krishna or they're constantly meditating on Krishna and they're constantly chanting Krishna's names, they don't end their life, but their life force leaves the body. Does that make sense?
Yes,
do we understand this? Their life force transitions from this material body and goes to another realm. It is not that they end their life. They don't do anything to end their life. They just transition into another existence. So that is called as taking samadhi.
So who is that Babaji you are referring to? Who got Vinodji?
I said no, Lokanath Goswami. I mentioned the name Lokanath Goswami. I mentioned his name, right? Very dear devotee of Lord Chaitanya, Lokanath. Did I not mention his name? I'm sorry.
No. I got Lokanath Goswami and the Babaji. I could not relate. He is the same person. That's what I was. So I was about to ask. How did that this came to Lokanath Goswami? Babaji being different. Okay.
No, he's the same. See, in Vrindavan, they did not call him Lokanath Goswami Maharaj. They would call him Babaji.
Okay, Babaji.
Yeah, villagers just call everyone Babaji.
Yeah, that is true. So, anybody has any question? We have Sudepriya Mataji, Ram Reddy Prabhu. Prabhuji, have you gone? Before anybody gets ready, I will ask a quick question. Have you, from the video, I am imagining means the way little disturbance, then I shut down my video, switched off my video, thinking that clarity will come, but gradually it is stabilized. So are you in India, Prabhuji, now, or
no, I'm in the same place. We still haven't gotten permission for a big festival.
Okay, and still they're not allowing people to travel also unless
yeah. I'm still in the US.
I suppose. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody has any question, let us not keep Prabhuji. If you do not have anything at this point, then please unmute yourself and let us thank Prabhuji for this wonderful class this evening. And loudly chant 3 times, speak Hari Bol for Prabhuji. Wherever he is, let him be safe. Thank you, Prabhuji, once again. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.